thing, you know, it's like sort of like, you know, it's feel that's the whole argument about it. Anyway, pretty much, you know, like, well, on the next video, I will begin the video as though I am in a conference. This one, because I just had a lot of things, I couldn't hold it in anymore, so I just couldn't begin the video as though I am in a conference or a crowd of people watching me and things like that, because I just couldn't hold in those things anymore. So the next video I'll be more like if I was in a conference in a way, like kind of like if I was in a conference with a crowd of people watching. So that would be like the next video. Okay, so anyway, there's about 3 more minutes left. So I'm just gonna for the rest of the 3 minutes before. So I'm just gonna wrap up the video by talking more about the conference, and afterward, then I'll end this video. Okay, so pretty much. So basically, I want to emphasize on the conference. Basically, like, felt that during the 4 years when I got elected as club president, Mesa Multimedia Club, I felt that was like a chance for me to see what is it like to be. It's not really. I don't know. Like, maybe there's more standard in a company conference. There's more standard than the club, the Mesa College club meetings is. You know, maybe they can't. It's not. They don't meet all those criteria as a company's conference, but at least know how is it like. You know, it's like. Okay, so pretty much. Anyway, like I just felt. I don't know, like I would. I don't know, like my advisor. Like when I'm facing difficulty, I would turn to my advisor. His name is Alfonso Sabera, or the student service counselor Carlita. I don't know her last name, so I forgot her last name. I didn't ask her her last name. She introduced herself as Carlita, and I didn't get a chance to ask her her last name. So it's just back then, from 2008 to 2011, when I got elected as club president. It's just like really tough questions or tasks I couldn't handle. I would turn to my advisor, Alfonso Sabera, Professor Alfonso Sabera. he is also a professor of a teacher of the multimedia class in the San Diego Mesa College. So he's also a teacher in teaching those multimedia classes in the Mesa College, San Diego Mesa College. So pretty much he so people would greet him as Professor Alfonso Sabata. Anyway, so when I am facing, okay, it's like I'm saying, it's already past. Right now, 7:46. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Pretty much I'm gonna wrap up this today PTTS session by finishing up talking about conference, and I'll call it a day and things like that. Okay, so pretty much like, so back then that was the the plan. Like I didn't, it was all, number one, like, if I didn't follow through, I didn't go with being elected as club president of the Mesa Multimedia Club, then the club would shut down and discontinue, and no longer there were no longer a Mesa Multimedia Club in Mesa College. And so, but like, I agreed to accept being to take on these responsibility is, when I'm facing problems or tasks that I felt like too much for me to handle, then I would turn to my advisor, Professor Alfonso Sabata, or the student counselor, the student service counselor, Carlita. So kind of like in a way, so pretty much if accompanies, or like, I don't know, somehow, let's just say in a scenario, a multimedia companies, want me to be in a conference since I am the club president to talk about the club, in this kind of scenario, I would turn to my advisor and the student service counselor and things like that. Okay, so anyway, but I'm saying, I remember I trying to work my way there, maybe one day I would not turn to my advisor and the student service counselor, I would, follow through with it. Pretty much that was the goal back then, when I got elected as club president. I said one day I would able to do that, don't have to turn to my advisors and student service counselor. I would able to follow through with being in the conference and things like that. So like I felt like this is kind of like a training for me. This 4 years of time is a training for that day. Like I'm able to be in a conference and without have to turn to our my advisor, Professor Alfonso Sabata, and the student service counselor, Carlita. So kind of like in a way, I felt that after this 4 years of training as club president, I would able to do that. I would able to be in a conference. Okay, so thank you for watching PTTS. Thank you for following PTTS. I'm gonna end this video in 3, 2, 1.